Hey everyone, welcome back to Scotty Builds. This is part 2 of the sauna build. In part 1 we put together the basic shell. Now we're moving to the inside to get it ready to handle the heat. Let's get to it. The first step was to lay down this black breathable membrane, and this allows moisture vapor to escape and provide separation between the wood subfloor and the concrete. It also helps reduce the chance of mold growing here. The hole I'm cutting here is for the floor drain, so I can hose down the sauna and rinse everything out. I've also laid down some metal lath, basically acting as rebar, to reinforce the thin concrete floor. This next part's a little tricky. The concrete floor in the sauna needs to slope towards that drain I just cut, so water flows out. To make that slope, I used angled 2x4s as guides. First I made a jig by offsetting two 2x4s and ripping them on the table saw to create the pitch I needed. Then I screwed that offset piece onto fresh 2x4s to make a bunch of long shims, all with the same slope. I then laid those shims out like spokes on a wheel, all pointing toward the drain, and then used them as a guide when screeding the concrete. And this created a nice even slope all around the drain. Once the concrete cured, I pulled out the 2x4 guides and filled those gaps with more concrete. This concrete definitely won't pass any slump test, but it got the job done. And this whole trick for getting the floor to slope towards the drain was actually something I picked up from Glenn's SauntaTimes E-Book. And it's one of several clever ideas I got from that book. I feathered all the concrete towards the drain to make sure all the water goes there. This little box here is the framed base where the stove will sit. After that I added the fiberglass insulation, and this is actually the third layer of insulation. The first is the siding, and then the pink wrap, and then after this layer I put on that aluminum stuff they use in hockey rinks, and that works to reflect the heat back into the sauna, making it a lot hotter and more efficient. Now I'm building the tile base for the stove, and I wanted it to be super thick, not just to hold the weight of the stove, but also to handle the heat. Since there will be a live fire inside and no heat regulator, this base acts like a heat shield between the stove and the wood framing. I layered it first with plywood, then mortar, then cement board, more mortar, and finally tile. It should protect the surrounding structure and also helps hold heat. Just like the floor base, the wall tile also acts as a heat shield, protecting the walls from catching on fire. It also adds a lot of thermal mass, which helps hold heat inside the sauna, just like the rocks on top of the sauna stove. I laid out all the tile on a table outside to make sure everything was cut to the right size and would light up clean. It's way easier to figure it out ahead of time than trying to adjust it mid-install. This tile work was actually one of my favorite parts of the build. It took a lot of patience, but it was really rewarding. If you start even a little crooked, it only gets worse as you go up, so I was constantly checking for level and using shims to keep my lines straight. There's something really satisfying about pressing each tile into the mortar and feeling it lock into place, knowing that it's set there for good. It's the last piece of tile. Right there. Then I sealed the concrete floor with an epoxy paint and added black grout to fill any gaps in the wall tile. Then I used an old sponge to clean off any excess grout or mortar that squeezed out during install. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for part 3 where we bring in the stove and start installing the interior cedar walls. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to Scotty Builds. Thanks for watching and see you next time. I would not recommend wearing Crocs while doing any sort of work. I got punctured pretty good by a nail. Anyways,